I'm going to go live on YouTube, so that way, if the audience has anything they'd like to ask you, we'll know.
Yeah,
fuck yeah, technology.
I know, yeah. 21st century, bro.
All right, almost there. I'll do like hey, I'm here with and all that. And
is that all right with the army, by the way? Is that glaring or?
You know what? It kind of as you move around, what's going to happen is it's going to lose the autofocus on you a bit. Yeah, that's the one right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be perfect. Boom.
Get me a drink.
Ooh, your good side.
Get my gin.
All right. Let me just make sure this is working. I think we're working. I think so. All right, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. What the deal is, everybody? It's your boy Leo Savage, and I'm here with a special guest. Can you hear that? That was my. Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. I'm here with Valhalla Training Academy. Now,
what is up?
What should I call you? Should I call you Mr. Academy?
Sorry.
Should I call you?
No. Call me Lloyd.
Lloyd.
That's my name.
Is that your nickname?
Nope, it's my real name.
So, what is Valhalla Training Academy? Because I think anybody who's joining the broadcast might know you strictly by Valhalla Training Academy.
It's just a place where people can go to basically get the best out of them, mentally and physically, increase their well-being.
I disagree. I mean, I agree to disagree. I can't say that's not what it is, but I like to look at stuff at layers because there's always layers to these things. But what it is to me is it's your superhero name.
Yeah.
Literally, when I talk to my friends about you and your work, because your work is polarizing. I mean, it stops me. Whenever you post, I have a moment where I sit down in front of my phone for a minute and watch you do your thing. But I talk to my friends and we all talk about you with admiration. Yeah. Valhalla, did you see Valhalla Training Academy do that shit? Yes. So
I never started
but it's your superhero name.
I never started it as a place for just me. I wanted it to be everyone who goes there to be basically like a little family that we've got going, and that's how I wanted it to be. I didn't want Valhalla Training Academy to be me. I wanted to be the place, but goes how it goes.
But it kind of is you. So that's something I can relate with you on is Steel Mace Flow. It is my identity. You know, when people refer to me, like that might be in there. But you know, just like you said, we did it, you know, for our people, you know. Matter of fact, we didn't name it after ourselves. We named it something that everybody could contribute to, you know.
Something like a collective name for people.
It is. And so I spent a little time researching you. It's kind of neat, right? Like actually researching people. And there's a couple different ways you can go about it. You know, and so I think before I get into it, I just want to tell you a few things, right? So talking to the Steel Mace people, I said, who do you guys want to know about? Yeah. And everybody wanted to know about you, and myself included. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. It may or may not be. But whenever I see somebody flow the way you do, specifically with the mace, I know that there's a story. There's a story to be told for somebody who can move like that. And there may or may not be, but I have a good place we can start. I'm going to introduce you to somebody. I want you to tell me, just 1 second. Who the fuck is that guy?
That's he is dead. That's old Lloyd when he was a pilot.
Dude, that's you.
Yeah.
Fuck, I honestly, didn't know. Like
Yeah.
looking through your photos, because I found a good number of them. I just happened to pick this one out.
Yeah.
That is
That's
in
when
fact you used to not have a beard.
No, I used to be a helicopter pilot, and it was frowned upon to have a beard, so I wasn't allowed to grow it. And
Is
then
that because of the mask that you have to wear?
No, it's more because since certain events, having a beard in an airport doesn't really work very well.
Yeah, wearing a beard,
So
but
it's
man. So how long ago was this? Was it like 2014, 2000?
Must be. So what am I now? I'm 35 now. I stopped doing it when I was so it must be about 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Right on. Man, you're a handsome guy underneath that beard.
That's right. Yeah.
Not to say you're not reveling in your beauty now, but I used to have a clean shaven image too. I used to like work in like the general public, and I remember like some of the things were like facial hair was limited. You definitely couldn't have any visible tattoos. You couldn't have a mohawk. But like what a neat thing. And just to talk about it, but you said something, and you said that's old Lloyd. That guy's dead.
That was it was getting my pilot's license. I don't regret it. I love doing it, but it's severely crippled progress that I could have made then, if that makes sense. It was nearly bankrupt me, to be honest with you, and it had a very negative effect on my family. And so everyone was constantly saying, "Oh, you're this far ahead. You got to keep going. You've got to keep going." And then I got to a point where we couldn't basically afford to eat or anything, so I just said no. So I packed it on, put all my stuff away, said that's an old part of my life now, and I'm going to go ahead with new Lloyd's life, doing what I want to do, which was starting my own gym, which I had ideas about doing beforehand. But again, it's one of the things where loads of people say you can't do that. It's not viable. Don't do that. Do this. So I went with the path of what other people thought I should do, and that didn't work.
But
so then I buried that and went with it. I did it. I don't regret doing it.
Tried it on, and that's. Go ahead.
No, if I would have got to a point in my life where I would have severely regretted not doing it, if you mean, I'd rather do so. My problem is I jump into everything foot first. So a lot of things don't work. Some things do work. I don't really think about them that much. I just do them. And that was what happened with my pilot's license. I wanted to do it, so I just did it. And it bit me on the ass, and I put it behind me. And then I did Valhalla Training Academy, just jumped into that, said, fuck it. Everyone says I can't do it. I'm going to do it.
So just to take some perspective from that, here you are flying and you're daydreaming about being free.
Exactly.
Pretty neat. And not only do you want to be free, but hey, there's this burden that, hey, you're like me, you're a tough guy, but when it comes to your people, we have to take action, right?
Yeah.
Kids can't eat, wife can't eat. If I'm having stresses about that, I'm fucking moving mountains to make my tribe happy.
Exactly.
And, but we do get into, and a lot of people out there, they're going to get into like a systematic way of living, like that dogmatic practice of like, hey, you have to live a certain way. And there's a lot of comfort in that because there's examples of people who have been successful, but there's also great examples of people who have gone outside of the box, and here we are. But even though you're not a fighter pilot, I can't help but say fighter pilot because I made you rock and roll as a kid. You're still swinging metal in the air.
Yeah.
One would say, to quote some hip hop, you wave your mace in the air like a helicopter. I don't know if you know that song.
I've never heard that song, but I'll take your word for it.
I don't want to slide stuff like that. So let me actually pull something else up for you, for everybody. And you never know what you're going to get. I tend to think about you hovering in the skies and saying, I want to bust out of my fucking skin.
Mm-hmm.
Life imitates art.
Yeah, it's true.
I noticed you wearing a shirt, maybe that that you made, maybe that you designed. I don't know this, but
That's
as
right.
I was getting to know you, I found a lot of art. And so, did you make this?
I didn't make this. No, this is it's an album cover. Actually, I can't remember the band, but
Okay.
it was for a challenge I was doing called the Blood Eagle Challenge, and that's basically a depiction of the ritual of the Blood Eagle from old days.
So
Where they used to
I do
put the ritual.
remember you did a challenge on
Mm-hmm.
this. Like you were supposed to press two
You've got
mace
to
out. Is that correct?
hold the two maces out. It was
Yeah.
5 kilogram each side for women and 7.5 for the fellas. You just got to hold it out within 90 degrees as long as you can. That was the challenge, and it was pretty good, to be honest with you. It got a lot of people from like all over the world doing it, and that was the first time where I was like, "Whoa, this is fucking." There's people involved in this who aren't just from my local area. This is a worldwide thing. I had this guy called Abed from Dubai. He was doing it. Just from my little small town, and there's some guy in Dubai is doing exactly what I put up on Instagram. That was the first thing where I was like, right, onto something here.
Yeah. So, hey, unfortunately, I struck out. You did not design that, but you designed your shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And
it wasn't. I can't take all the credit there. There's a girl,
okay.
Emma. She's called Draw the Void on Instagram. I present to her what I want, and then she draws it all for me. She's amazing.
Cool. So definitely a team effort.
Yeah. So it's a joint thing. Yeah.
I like joints. I don't know if you know that about me, but I'm a pig.
I love them. I love it. I'm trying to get into it myself. I've got myself a new little stylus pad to try and start my own drawings, but I haven't got enough time to enjoy a decent art at the moment. So,
well, right on.
Someday.
Okay. So there you were. You were a pilot, flying around guys, thinking about being free. And there's one of your shirts. Yes.
That's the
Hey,
first
so
one.
I kind of have a couple mottos in my steel mace culture, right? Inspired to create, educate to heal, put mace in hands. An ongoing theme I saw in Valhalla training was this go berserker.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Well, the berserkers were warriors who would basically go into like a trance when they were fighting, where like nothing could stop them. They also believed that the animal skin that they were wearing, they'd inherit their courage or the bravery of that animal. And that was basically what I wanted to try and incorporate into the training that we do, to just go berserker, go into that trance-like state and just get it done.
Sounds like you're prescribing your own medicine.
You know what?
Like when you describe the way that you jump into things, you go berserker on them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never even thought of that, to be honest with you.
Hey, I gotta fucking jump in. I'm going all the way. Hey guys, here I am. Hey, and we're passionate men. I don't know much about you, but I would say based on the culture you have at your gym, looking at pictures of you, every picture there was of you, 9 out of 10 times there was somebody in your gym smiling. It was just a beautiful thing to know. But go berserker. That kind of indicates a little freedom for me. I think about you being in the helicopter. Here you go, you land, you create a gym. This like really visionary gym. I don't think there's a gym like yours anywhere near where you're at, correct?
No, not really. I mean, not to sing my own praise. I hate singing my own praises, but I don't know of any that I know of anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so it isn't like, we need this information about you. So don't ever feel like you're singing your own praises. That might be something like you deal with as time goes on, but you just have to give people information. In fact, because people know the source that they can come to you and they can talk to you about these things is important. So, So, okay, I have a couple of videos I want to show you. Now,
Hmm.
traditionally, what I do is I go back and I look and I find the very first Mace video, this first flow video of you.
Yeah,
But you actually reposted like your very first flow video the other day. And so I
yeah,
was like, well, I don't know if I can share that. So I try to find some other uh, meaningful videos to share. And let's see what I can pull up. All right, just to be certain, this is the video we were talking about.
yeah.
You're like, this is, I don't think this is your first flow video. I think you actually had another account maybe at one
Yeah,
time.
I've still got I've got my account, which is basically just pictures of like just my family stuff that I really do that. But I had it on there where I did a few Mace Flow videos on that, and then I kind of stopped posting on that and focused more on Valhalla. But there was actually one before this that I deleted because the first mace I bought was 15 kilograms because I just typical thought 15 kilograms, that's not that heavy. I'll
Yeah.
get that, it's fine. Got it, ended up almost snapping my wrist in half trying to fucking flow with the thing. And it's just a rookie mistake. And I did a video of it, and it was awful. So I deleted that because it just wasn't safe what I was doing.
It's fun to like look. I wish I could look back at it now and
I wish it could as well. I just deleted it. I didn't think about it. Now I wish I would have saved it. But at the time, I rewatched it and I thought, that's dangerous. No one should be watching that and thinking, I want to do that, because it was just horrible.
you know, it is a thing, and I think it's important that you put out a lot of material, and so as a coach, it's our responsibility. Like when we put something out, we want to make it something that somebody can grasp
Yeah,
because somebody is going to imitate it. So I do
yeah,
appreciate
exactly.
you like saying, hey, let me just take care of a couple people real quick. Somebody's going to say I can do that, and
Yeah,
let me get rid of it. Okay, so that's you, and that is actually looking out of your gym, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. That was when I first, basically, when I got the gym, it was just a shit heap of shite that I had to empty out and sell and take to the dump or eBay just to try and empty the place out. So this was when I got it to that final state of a shell where I could think, right, now I can start building.
So just to clear this up for us Americans, can you translate a
Sorry,
sheep of shite?
a shit heap of shite.
Shit heap of shite. Now that sounds
It,
like some bad weed that I bought one time. What is that?
it was just piles and piles of just rubbish and old chairs and just canoes, and it was a
Just
warehouse
stuff,
full of crap, just crap, and
random stuff.
just random stuff that I had to get rid of. That
All
was
right,
that
Lloyd.
took me a few months to do, to get rid of all that, and then I had the
I'm gonna tell
shell.
you. Let me tell you a crazy story. There's this guy flying around. He lands one day. He's like, "Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start swinging mace and teaching people how to throw axe, and I'm going to grow a beard, and I'm going to change the world doing it. I'm literally going to change the way people move. And here's what you look like." Dude, that's so cool to see. Like, as I went through watching this video, because I like to do this thing where when I have somebody who's doing work, I like to go frame by frame, right? So
Yeah,
just literally frame by frame and try and see like as a coach, maybe what I would do differently, or what looks beautiful, or what's unique. So you start out with this drop in 360. You go into a bow and arrow and and an archer. You do a top switch into a cell raise, drop in 360. I always feel like I'm like a skateboard announcer whenever I do this. Like so all right, then you got that right hand single. You do a bottom swing into an under squat. Man, you go ass to grass with that thing. You do a ballistic curl lateral lunge, and I think you do it on the opposite side. You catch bottoms up. You do an uppercut. You're so rock and roll that your backhand right here, you're throwing fucking rock and roll signs back there. So I don't know if you knew.
I've never even noticed that.
Yeah, that's why I'm fucking Leo Savage. I see everything. Okay. So, and you actually do it, I think, with both hands here on front and back. You hit a little press. You do a back lunge. You know what's kind of neat right here is there's a little shift in your balance. You never see Valhalla Training Academy slip up. That's where you're at now. You don't see you lose your balance anywhere. You do a back catch into back step. Man, you did a lot of dope stuff right here. And then like this, well, let me get to it. You do that to this day, man. Yeah. A lot of those moves you still do. They're just
right.
more refined, maybe to different music. Maybe there's a different energy you're carrying out through the day. But man, it was really cool reliving that. And so let me ask you a couple of questions about the steel mace. It's just not a normal thing for people to get into.
No.
What got you into the mace?
I've always kind of been interested in unconventional training methods, stuff that'll make my mind switch off, that I can just go elsewhere with. Before steel mace, I did a lot of jump rope. I love skipping. It just switches my mind off. And before that, I did Muay Thai and boxing, all just sort of stuff that I can get into to just switch my mind off. And with a lot of the boxing that I used, there's a fair bit of sledgehammer drills that I did. And then I loved sledgehammer drills. I just loved them. And I kind of got thinking, where can I go from this? What more can I do? So I had a look about, and I found you doing some sledgehammer movements. And I thought, that's good. So I started doing that, and then you evolved into the steel mace, and I thought, I want to start doing that. So I got the steel mace, and then after tagging along, following everything that you're doing, I then got onto Rick Brown about how the heavier mace work. I thought, that's good. And so then I just kind of, I just went down that route of then figured out how good it was, how much my brain switched off when I was doing it. And I just got addicted to it. That feeling of not thinking.
Man, I've never heard that story quite told like that. A lot of times people say, hey, I saw you with a mace. But you saw me when I started fucking with hammers, and how neat, it's so neat. Like, as I get to know you, how much we have in common, but I'm not incredibly shocked because the culture of mace people, we tend to have a lot of similar things, right? Yeah. Like, your workouts, for instance, you need to create a space for you to flow. It's just very hard to flow openly the way you do with another person, because it's free flow. Like, nobody knows what's going to happen next. And hey, man, I really appreciate you finding me and not stopping there. You saw more education. You said, hey, this is a neat way to move a hammer. How many different ways can you do it? And you found Rick Brown. And I would say that that's one thing that you do that not a lot of people do, is you do both worlds. You swing extreme heavy and you swing with extreme flow. Can you talk about
both of them are just as taxing? I can use me light mace and I can sweat buckets and feel like I've done loads. I can use my heavy mace, and exactly the same. Neither of the two, in my eyes, are, not one is better than the other.
They're just tools.
Yeah.
Depending on the job.
I'll always use my light mace for more of a mental. Say I've had a really shit day or something, then I'll go straight to my light mace, and I'll do my own little flow, get in my own little state. But say, even if I've had a good day, I'll still use my light mace, but I'll follow it up with the heavy mace. I'll get myself all warmed up, and then I'll finish with my heavy, just to get everyone all engaged.
So it's, and I think a lot of steel mace people use their steel mace practice for therapy, like getting through like a shit day, like you ask. And you know, that was a constant in my practice was you got to fight the demons. And I happen to use a mace to do it a lot of times. Can you give us, you know, an example of and you know, care to share as much as you want or as little as you want? People really want to get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a time that using the mace has helped you out, and maybe like out of a rough time?
It's on the daily, if I'm honest with you. I remember when I first started doing, well, it happened with me when I was doing my pilot license, but I didn't really understand what it was. When I started doing Valhalla, I constantly kept getting this pain in my chest, and I always thought I was over caffeinating myself, or maybe the pre-workout was fucking with me or something like that. And it was happening on the daily where I was constantly, and I didn't know what it was until I spoke to my friend Dean, and he had exactly the same thing as me. He was starting a business, and I didn't even know what anxiety was till all that happened with me. And I was like, "It's not anxiety. It's not anxiety. Don't worry. I'm just a bit worried. Don't worry. I haven't got anxiety." And it turns out it was. But every time I'd get that feeling, I'd put my music on, I'd pick up my light mace, and then I'd just give myself a good 20 minutes, half an hour of just figuring stuff out through the mace. And as I said before, when I'm using the mace, I'm not thinking about tax I've got to pay. I'm not thinking about insurance. I'm not thinking about rent. I'm not thinking about how am I going to get money to keep the place open. All that kind of just goes, and I'm just in the moment. And that's basically a daily medicine for me.
Man, I'm glad to know that you use it for medicine in that way, you know. And it's not like, it's like you have this residue on you from the day, right? Like, and let's just say it's negative. You have to deal with that somehow, right? God forbid it be like you talking to somebody, right? Like, it's great to grab your mace, and yes, you are free flowing, and you're not necessarily being 100% mindful of what you're doing. But that energy that's clinging onto you, you are acting out those days. I mean, make no mistake about it. Like, there's a billion mace, not a billion, not yet, but there's a ton of mace artists out there, and you can actually look at what they are creating in flow, and go, "Oh man, this guy's having a tough day." And then you read the comments, and you go, "Oh man." And not only that, but you go, "Man, I've been there."
Yeah.
You know, and let me ask you this, because here's a question, and this is kind of off of the left field here. A lot of times what happens to me, and I'm going to pose the same question to you, I get people who walk up to me and they say, "Leo, I know this is going to sound strange, but I feel like I'm healing myself with this mace. I feel like I have some type of spiritual connection with the mace." Do you have anybody say that to you?
Not so much spiritual connection. I've a fair few people who come to the gym who, everyone's got the demons, everyone's got the problems, but a lot of the people who do the mace class, they always say, they felt a lot better. They're not worried about whatever was worrying them before. It's gone. That problem it's not important now. And that's what I love about, like I said, about not only the steel mace, but the whole of Valhalla, is everyone who is in the family has the demons and uses it to quell them, basically. And that's the thing I'm most proud of with Valhalla, is how it's helped a lot of people more mentally than it has physically. And the mace is a big part of that. especially like with tire slams. I put tire slams in every circuit because everyone loves just picking up a mace and going to town on a tire because it just gets everything out of you.
That's neat. Yeah, and a lot of people don't use the mace for smashing things. Sure, on Halloween there's a pumpkin smashing, and this like knock the fucking bottle cap off. I think there was a few people, myself included, who did that.
I was going to do that, but I seen you do it, and I was like, motherfucker.
You have to be fast. Hey, and thanks for calling me motherfucker, because that means we're friends, right? You have to be able to properly receive one of those. So, right on. And then, I noticed, and I know you said, and I'm going to take us back a little bit. You said, hey, I was doing a challenge where I held 2 mace out and I pressed, and you got some reaction. Like, there were some people who did it, and what you said was, hey, this is the thing. Like, it's more than being on like the island you're on.
Yeah,
you're not really on an island, but I had to like look your place up. Apparently it's named after a witch. It's like Green Witch something. What's it called? GMT, Greenwich.
Oh, Greenwich Mean. No, that's just basically the Greenwich Mean Time. So I live in England. I'm in
Great Witch. Is that a Lord of the Rings thing?
Greenwich Mean Time is it's a place in London, I think.
Is that a hip hop witch?
Could be. I don't know that much about it.
I'm just fucking with you, man. Let me. All right.
I'm gonna have to look that up, actually.
Let me get another video of you. Boom. Can you look at the beginning of this and tell what video this is?
It
has a significance. So I went through your Instagram,
sure. Yeah,
and I've been saying this for a while. It's great to look at somebody's current work, but really doing a deep dive, going to the bottom of somebody's Instagram and looking at all of the things, it's amazing. And I found this one somewhere in the middle, but this guy had like 64,000 views, had tons of likes. This, in fact, was, if measured by Instagram, your biggest body of work. This touched the most people. Care to watch it with me?
Yeah. I think I know which one it is, but I'm not sure.
Awesome. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that's one of the first videos where I figured out how much pain you can get in the back of your Achilles heel when you smack it with a mace.
With the handle.
Yeah.
But dude, like 64,000 views. I actually remember that video. I think, and I'm not sure. I'm fairly certain I reposted that one, just saying the best mace artist out there, and pointing people at somebody I'm a fan of. What did that feel like? Was there like, you get some decent traffic, but that's like that's staggering compared to the rest of the numbers you had.
I'll be honest with you, it still shocks me. A lot of people ask me, a few people accuse me of like buying followers and all that shit, but it's never really bothered me. I just ignore that. But I still kind of, I don't know. I couldn't tell you why I get such a high watch viewing. I'm just some hairy guy swinging around a ball on a stick, and I don't know. When it got to 64,000, I was as shocked as anyone. I don't know.
You know what? You might have been that guy before, but we got to meet you a little bit.
It's true.
It turns out you're a bad guy, but you're still a superhero.
You're not
right?
bad.
You're not wearing Superman underwear on your outside. You're a bad guy like Cool Uncle. You're a bad guy, kind of like this next guy I'm gonna pull up, okay? All right. This might shock a few people. Now, one thing I know about steel mace people, there's a few ways to get good at swinging mace. One, fucking practice a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Two, get a fanny pack. You got a fanny pack?
I haven't got a fanny pack actually, no.
That's okay.
I'll get that on it's on the to-do list.
Get a fucking nice beard. 3. Right? Get a forearm tattoo. 4. Right? The list goes on and on. But the most important step, you gotta have fucking short shorts. I've been swinging mace for a long time. I've never seen anybody swing short shorts. Never seen anybody in short shorts that small. Okay. That's
not short shorts. That's a red short shorts.
Nope.
I've got blue pants on.
Nope. not from this angle.
I've never seen it like that before. I've never even thought of that.
Is it true that you swing mace like a berserker because of the beard and the short shorts, or is it because of your family, people hanging by you?
Both, really. Both. I put everything I can into Valhalla because I need it to succeed, because of my family. I need them to be secure. Everything I do is for them at the end of the day. And yeah, that's why I put a lot of commitment into what I do, because I need it to work.
Now, you're not really wearing short shorts there. You're wearing a sash, okay? And just to clear this up for everybody, you are definitely
I will never look at that photo the same again.
You're definitely dressed as Will Smith.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I'm never going to look at that the same again without seeing that. You've ruined the family picture.
No. Hey, but could you introduce us to your gang here?
My wife, who's on the right, is Caroline. Mm-hmm. And my eldest, Isabel, on the left, and my youngest, who's Mary Poppins, is Abigail.
Man,
it's my crew.
You know, it's always neat to find out about the people behind the mace. But like whenever I have a buddy named Jeffrey Oakes, and he's a lot like us. I mean, you've got to know him, right?
I know Jeffrey. Yeah, I think after I got onto what you do, Jeffrey was the next one who I kind of keyed in on. It's like, hey, there's another cool motherfucker. And just kind of watched it.
So he was having a kid, and I knew right away. I was like, that guy's definitely going to have a daughter. When you're that much rock and roll, you get daughters.
Yeah, it takes a real man to have a girl. That's what I got told.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, that's awesome. And then, like, if you guys ever jump onto Valhalla Training Academy's Instagram, you're going to see a lot of culture at his gym. I mean, I must have seen like 100 costumes in your gym. I mean, people dress up, and is it just like a Halloween thing? It seems like you dress up more than just Halloween.
When you mean where I do the family fancy dress things?
Yeah,
we do a Halloween every year for me and niece's birthday. We'll all get a big family fancy dress thing, just like dressing up, really.
Well, you've been dressed up at the gym, more particularly your members.
You're gonna bring up my Brian Blessed picture?
No. I think I've only got one more. I think I've only got one more picture of you. And
well, we do a Halloween party every year, and we'll do other parties. But yeah, it's always fancy dress. It's always got to be fun.
It is, man. Like, I love it.
Fun. What's the point?
Like, I just think about being a little kid and dreaming about like a kind of adult play area, right?
Yeah.
I want a place where I can play with all the things that my parents told me not to. You throw fucking axes and knives in your gym.
Yeah, that was
right.
When I that was one of the main things that I wanted to do. I wanted to have a playground for adults. Basically, I wanted to. The gym I used to go to, they stopped me going because I used to bring my mace in, and they said you can't bring it here. So I said, right, I did like off The Simpsons when he goes, I'll start my own casino. That was what I did. I was like, I'll start my own gym, and yeah. So then I thought, right, I want a place where people can take their own stuff, where people can have fun with their training, and that's what I did. Started a playground for big kids.
Yeah, you definitely can't. I mean, we might call it a gym. We might slip up and call it a gym, but it's not a gym.
It's not. I use that. No, I don't hate using the word, but
it's kind of just how you say things. But really, the thing you created for yourself, for your own sanity, it infected the people that come there. People get to have the same experience as you. Getting to be free for a little bit, getting to take out the aggression of the day and smash a mace into a tire, or compete in an axe throwing competition. You guys do that in costume.
Yeah.
While drinking?
Wait, well, for the sake of this video, no.
No drinking. Yeah, there should not be any drinking.
I cannot condone that.
Yes. And all right, let me jump into another photo. Okay. So, all right. We don't have to talk about this. Is that you right here?
Yeah, sticking me finger up me sister-in-law's nose. That's me.
Okay. And what's going on with your beard?
I've got beard baubles, like little Christmas tree baubles.
You decorated your beard like a Christmas tree?
Yeah, do it every year. Put some glitter in it, some lights. But every year I'll try and go a little bit more.
You're a little.
You gotta have fun. You've got to have fun.
I mean, you still got the black. Christmas sweater. You're keeping it in.
Try to keep it a little bit cool.
You got a glittery. You're a fucking crack up, man. Look at you, picking noses.
If you can't make fun of yourself, then who can you make fun of? So I'll do anything to. I don't really care about embarrassing myself, so I'll put glitter in my beard. I'll put lights in my face. So it doesn't bother me.
Well, it's just it's awesome to like get to know the man behind the mace, and picture's worth 1,000 words. And I picked the family photo where you were dressed as the genie because of the supposed short shorts. Okay.
You've ruined that.
But really, I mean, you're, even though you're a Valhalla Viking or the Valhalla training guy, right? And you play heavy metal music and you swing big ass metal things around, and you inspire people to act like berserkers. You still got a big ass heart under you, and no matter who, hey, I'm not necessarily that guy. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Trying to pull up your. Give me a second here.
Yeah.
It keeps pulling up this guy. This is the great thing about my production team is I'm not paying anybody after today's episode. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the production team. Okay, here, let's try this. I think this will work. I'm squinting at the bottom of my screen in case you're wondering what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Be cool if I pulled up something in my search history that was like really good. A good crack on that.
Nudes coming up.
Yeah, I don't really know. All I have is videos of me swinging mace. And maybe, yeah, well, you know what? I'm not going to be able to find it, and that's okay. I'll just recall your memory. I know you said, hey, that Lloyd, the helicopter Lloyd, he's dead. I'm a new Lloyd. That big ass smile you're wearing didn't leave you, man. If anything, it just grew. Now you might not be able to see it by that handcrafted mustache and that beautiful beard. Um, but you're a big loving guy, and that's one thing that I personally got to know about you as I looked through the photos is you're doing this not to be a badass Viking guy, but to help cure people of a little bit of depression, a little bit of negativity. You're giving people a playground. Uh, so I really appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit about yourself. We're not done yet, but just wanted to point that out.
I appreciate that. It's always good to. I don't know. I like I said before, I'm not one for singing praises for myself. I don't like doing it. It's not how I was raised. So it is good when people kind of realize why I've done it, and appreciate it.
Sometimes you have to unlearn some things. And one of the things that I learned about this mace game is, and I say this every day, Lloyd, I'm the best steel mace coach in the world. And I'm not saying that because I think I'm better than you, or better than Eric, or better than Brandon, or Rick. But I got people to help.
Yeah,
I got a lot of people to help. And if I'm not the best, if I don't believe I'm the best, I'm not making the decisions of a person who's trying to be the best or who is going to be the best for their community. So while it's not necessary to pat yourself on the back, just to give yourself more of an opportunity to serve at a higher capacity, because people do listen to you. You're the fucking best. And it's okay to tell people the things that are important. So you're the best in my book, man. All right, couple questions for you. Couple questions for you. Now, this is the great thing about being from a different place. I have no idea what you call your moves. Matter of fact, I don't even know who fucking trained you.
There's no one. I trained myself. I trained myself by
wait.
watching.
You just trained yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. What? How?
Watching people, watching you, watching the likes of Jeffrey.
Watching people?
Watching.
You didn't go to a certification?
No, there's nothing around here. I'm on an island. There's nowhere at all to do it. I just
popped open Instagram and YouTube, and here you are.
What's it called? 1,000 hours practice. So I can't remember what it's called, but there's an idea that if you do something for 1,000 hours, then you become an expert. And I just decided, right, what I'll do, I'll watch people, and then I'll film myself, then I'll watch myself and think that's shit, and then I'll do it again, and I'll film myself and I think that's better, and that's how I was. I filmed myself, watched myself, did it better. Film myself, watched myself, did it better. Ended up putting countless amount of holes in my wall. My wife kicking off that there's holes. Fucking, because I used to live in a flat, so there wasn't the best of swinging space. So it just go through the wall, and I'd have to put something over that hole and be like, ooh, and just carry on with my life. And then my wife would find it one day and be like, what the fuck is this? Pointing at the hole in the wall. And that's how I got good, really. Just practice. I did look for certifications or for anything I could do. There was meant to be one in Scotland, but it got cancelled, and I thought, okay. And yeah, I just trained myself then.
I love it.
Trial by error.
I think that people should just know that, like Instagram and YouTube might get a bad rap. Like, oh, you learned that move from Instagram. Who fucking cares? There's some really brilliant work out there, right? Good information doesn't displace good information. And matter of fact, a lot of my inspiration came from watching things on YouTube or watching things on Instagram. And so, hey man, I appreciate that, being one of the best mace guys in the world, because I do consider you one of the best. You serve no master. You just kind of went with it and started to create. And I think that's beautiful for anybody out there. Really, all you need is access to a mace, some time, and hopefully
that's it. That's all you need. Every time I teach the mace people, I'll show them so much, and I'll say, right, the rest is on you. You've got to. When people want me to teach them a flow, then I'll say, look, I can't teach you the flow. That's you. You've got to. I'll teach you the moves, and then you can put the moves together in your own order. But that's your time. You can't pay me for an hour or for an hour's class to learn a flow, because I can't teach you my flow that's meant something to me, because it won't mean anything to you. You've got to feel your own flow. So here's your mace, here's your time. Put your own flow together for how you feel.
I love that. Because really, as you're like prescribing moves for people, I love that prescription. Like, hey, I don't know how you're feeling today, but listen, I was dealing with some chaos in this flow.
Yeah.
You want to flow so you can go shopping? I don't want to give you the all right. The berserker flow might not be the right one. You probably want to route to customer service. So I love that. Flowing is a lot about being yourself and saying, hey, here's some things you can use, go create. Speaking of creating and moves and things, what is your favorite move?
I'd have to say, move in like a flow, or move to thing to do with the mace, full stop.
Hey man, there's no rules.
If I'm just gonna do a standard move, then I'd have to say trying to find the most creative way I can hit a tire with a mace. That's my favorite thing. in the middle of a flow, I did one a while ago, and I always put it in like I call it an Achilles flow, where you bring it back and swing it around. And I have to move my foot. I don't know what the exact technical term, but that's So I'll call it the Achilles because I do that, and that's my favorite thing to put in, because I've learned that move through so much pain. I've learned how to create, like how to move my body all at the same time to counteract that and not to hit myself on the heel. And I just like doing that because I've perfected it now to a point of
we don't hit your heel. And
it's the right amount of fear in the move to be like, hey, got away with that one.
Yeah. And I really like calling it the Achilles. Like, sure, you could call it like there's like some technical jargon that you could call it, right? You could say, oh, it's a crossbody back into like a drop in, whatever.
Yeah.
But saying Achilles, it resonates with you. Like, I'm a fucking warrior. Achilles is badass. How did he die?
Unless you hit yourself.
I'm not going to hit myself in the Achilles today. So now what do you prefer? I know you said, I'm not going to ask what you prefer, because you said both heavy mace and light mace both serve a great purpose for you. And we asked about a couple moves. Let me ask you about some of your inspirations in the mace world. Okay. If there was a Mount Rushmore, are you familiar with that?
I am.
Okay. Just because you don't know what it is, I'll explain it to you. Right.
No, I know what Mount Rushmore is.
What we did is I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
There was this beautiful mountain in which we put some faces on. Now there's some faces on a mountain at which we look at. And we wrote a book of lies about these men. Anyway, I'm not going to get it.
Big three, man. The big three.
Hey, all right. So, but if there was a Mount Rushmore, it doesn't have to be 4 people. Could be 1, could be 2, could be however many. Who would be on the mace Mount Rushmore?
Let's say
30 seconds, people. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25,
right.
27.
So obviously there's going to be you. Obviously there's going to be you. Obviously there'll be Rick Brown. 2 more people. Oh, you know. Let's go with. That's a hard question. There's a guy called Heavenly Father, and he just swings garters.
William.
William Calvini, I think his name is. And he's fucking. He's like a style icon in my eyes. It's just every time I look at him, I think you're a fucking cool motherfucker.
Dude, what a hard man, you know? Like he's got that like dirt look to him. Like,
yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Like I've tried wearing a flappy cap because I think I want to wear a cap like him, and it just doesn't work. It's like,
dude, his nickname for me. Nobody knows this. Maybe this will be the first time out, but he calls me Bearded Baby. I feel so blessed. So right on. You have some male inspirations, still mace.
And also, if I'm going to pick the fourth person, and I'd have to go with Kelly Kelsbells. It's you know, when you know people by their Instagram name only.
That's okay. I get it. Yeah. You know, I'm not the best with names, so like traveling and teaching, when I meet somebody, they have two names. The relationship formed on Instagram, it's like, hey, I'm Kelly. Oh, okay. What?
Who?
Oh, I'm Kelsbells. Oh, fuck. I know you. Can I just call you Kelsbells? What do I call you? Man, dude, she's been killing the game for a while. She's awesome.
I just like the variety of everything that she does is like, it blows my mind, to be honest with you, how like between the kettlebells, the log, the gather, the mace, everything.
You know, no one's really brought Kelly up. I definitely need to. Yeah, you know, it's just boundaries. You're not necessarily boundaries, but here in America, there's like a lot of different sects of fucking mace culture. Everyone's finding it hard to get along. We're acting very American over here.
Well, that's like with me being in the UK. I've seen these things happen, and it's like, why is this happening? I don't get what you're all about the same thing. What, in the words of Leo Savage, what the deal is? Why is fighting about the same thing? I don't get that.
Well, you know, scarcity is a lot of the reason why people fight. You know, now that I sell my steel mace certification, to toot my own horn. See that? I told you toot your own horn. Now I'm tooting. I never knew the reach I had. I have students all over the world.
I see you did a video of the members, the people who applied to it. And they were all
China, South Africa, fucking, you know, you name it. And if there are students everywhere, then we need more coaches. Yeah. We need more people agreeing. It's easy to talk about the differences. It's hard to talk about the things that you have in common, right? I like to have the conversation about what do we have in common? Where's the common ground? Because, you know, there's where the unity really lies. You know, we're all fucking using a paintbrush and arguing about the color or whatever, you know, so. But hey, I'm glad you don't have to deal with it, man. Fuck yes.
I'm just sitting on the sidelines like, whew, this is awkward.
Come on, get involved. Isn't your country like known for like like stop running your blood? All right. So let's talk about I actually thought for the Mount Rush Mace more. Whatever we're gonna call it. I thought you were gonna say your twin cousin, Frankenlegs.
You know what? Fuck. Rewind. Let me put him on there as well. you put me with too many people, and I completely panicked and forgot about Zach.
You know what? I was thinking about like, this is just funny, right? And you have to look at patterns. When you see a pattern, especially somebody who does flow. You and Zach have like the same hairdo, same face fuzz. Jeff Oakes and we had the same, when we were in the same room together, people said we looked alike. And what I've come to find is that we're just artists. And it doesn't matter what the task is, even if it's grooming, we want to make art out of it.
Funnily enough, there's a few people who Because I'm terrible with me shorts in the gym. I've got like one pair of shorts that I'll wear all the time because it's who I am. I don't care.
Mhm.
I wear one pair of shorts. And there's a few people like, oh, you need to get yourself some new shorts. You need to get some new pants. Get yourself some pair of comfy slack pants. What about these? And then as soon as I looked at them, the pants that Zach wears all the time, and I was like, I can't
You should
wear
have.
them as
Oh,
well.
you should have done it.
No, because it already looks like it's a single white female kind of thing where we both look too alike. So if I start wearing the same pants as him, and it's just there's got to be some difference between the two of us. And he's got his pants. I'll have me sweaty shorts.
So we got it's cool that I can't wait till you guys meet. It'll definitely happen. The world is life is long, you know.
I hope so. He's a nice fella. I spoke to him a few times, and he's a nice fella, Zach.
So you did have one Still Makes Flow traveler, Sean Pearson, come to your gym, and you guys got to share some time.
Hopefully he's coming down again in August. Hopefully, but obviously, like throws your curveball sometimes, so you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully, I'll see him again. But no, it was good. He's a really nice fellow, Sean. He told me about going to see you and how amazing that was and what you did for him. And no, he's a really nice fella. I've got a lot of time for Sean. He's a good lad.
What was that like for you to like have this gym that somebody came to visit from? It wasn't like a 30-minute commute. I mean, he had to move to get there. And I know Sean. I know that him having access to freedom, it takes some time.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, the same with him. There's another girl, Georgie. What Georgie did, she came down.
I don't know about that. Let's talk about that.
Well, she came down as well on the last Axstone tournament that I had, and it's just bizarre how she travelled and Sean travelled and people will travel to, and it's still it's me underselling myself. But people traveling this way, and there's people who will message me from the likes of Germany or Spain and be like, I really want to travel over. I really want to train in Valhalla. Whereas I'm in Valhalla, which is a big unit on an industrial estate. And it's like people want to travel hundreds of miles to train in this. It's like, do you know what I mean? Again, I know I'm underselling myself, but it baffles me how people will travel to train or to just be in that place and experience the environment that is Valhalla, really. And I don't. I know you're going to shout at me for underselling myself, for not patting myself on the back, but I'm very flattered by it.
I take a moment to be happy about that. I think that's the mission.
It is. It's what I've been striving for, and now it happens. It baffles me. For someone who's dealt with so many kind of, I'm not crying fucking poverty or anything, but for someone who's dealt with a lot of problems in life, and then I get to this point where something's working out, it's like, oh, this isn't right. Something's got to go wrong somewhere, but it hasn't happened yet. And that's how I live my life on the daily, waiting for something to go wrong.
Yeah, well, you can't stop it. I'll tell you this. I fucked up a number of times. Leo Savage is a very passionate guy, and I've said some things that rubbed the Mace community wrong, and I couldn't derail Still Makes Flow. I couldn't do it.
No.
I seriously doubt that you'll be able to stop this movement. It's a movement. You have created a movement. People are literally tracking you down to be part of your place. And I think the last thing I think we can really talk about is I was going to ask you some Mace inspiration, some people that inspire you. And you've talked about Georgie. We've talked a little bit about Frank and Rick Brown. I guess it's to the point where people are saying, coach to you that you're teaching Still Mace to. Just recently, you had your first act. I could be wrong. as a traveling, educating
That's true.
stillmate coach.
Yeah, I went to Portugal, CrossFit Renegade, and originally it happened completely by accident. Basically, the girl who trains in CrossFit Renegade, Martina, she messaged me asking about where to purchase steel mace from in Portugal. And I just said, I'm not too sure about Portugal, but I know there's places in Poland and Hungary, I think it is, where you can get them from. But just out of coincidence, I was going to Portugal on a family holiday. And I said to her, I'm going there. I'll probably take some steel mace over with me. So as a joke, it was like, where are you? And she said she's in Villamora. And that's exactly where I was going. So then I went to Villamora. I said to my wife, I'm going out for a few hours. I'll be back. Went to this gym, did a session with them. And then they said, we'd love you to come back and do a coaching session. And I basically said to them, look, I'm on holiday with my family. If I disappear for another day, my wife will murder me. So they said, oh, it's fine. Yeah, don't worry. We'll do it another time. But then it was like some kind of inception shit. The whole time I was on holiday, I was sitting there thinking, I want to go and teach mace. I want to go back. So I had to wake up. I asked my wife if it was all right. And I said, what I'll do, I'll wake up first thing in the morning, go there, do it, come back before he's even out of bed. So it was about, I think it was 7 a.m. the class. And none of them would get out of bed till about 10 a.m., 12 a.m. because of the heat. It was just stay indoors kind of thing. So I rented myself a bike, cycled like 8 kilometers to get to this gym at about 5 in the morning. Saw God knows how many dead snakes on the roads, and I thought, this is how I die. I'm going to come up with my bike, the snake's going to get me, no one's going to find me. That's how Lloyd goes. But I got there, did the class, and then they said, do you want to teach some steel mace? And I had a little class of about 8 people. Did some steel mace. Like I said before, I taught some basic moves, got them to put them together in their own little way, and then said, that's what these are your moves, go with them. And they loved it. And I'm going back end of October to do a little 3-day course with a few more of them, which like is scary for me because that's like real, if you know what I mean. I'm taking my friend Craig with me, who he also he's quite into the mace. I've got him into it, and I need someone to come with me to help teach. So I thought, right, I'll take him with me. We'll go teach a few people. Going to teach steel mace on the beach, the dream. And yeah, can't wait. And it's scary as fuck.
It is. Dude, look at what you've created. Not only have you created a gym where people come to, but now people want you to go to their gym. Not only their gym, but you get to fulfill the dream of like, man, you know what would be cool is if I could travel and teach mace. That would be so cool.
Sorry to flip this onto you, but how did you ever get that feeling when people wanted you to travel to their gym and you were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, definitely. It would be that, and you used to box and kickbox, so maybe you can share the sentiment with me. No matter who I fought, no matter how good a shape I was in, there was always a moment of very uncomfortable uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
Not fear, not necessarily scared, but just being very uncomfortable with.
You don't want to say I'm going to lose,
what's going to happen.
You got to accept the outcome.
It's a unique feeling. And so whenever I go and present education, and guys, this is important for any coach out there. Leo Savage, me, I am socially awkward. I have problems in big crowds. Whenever I go in to teach, there's some self-doubt, and there's all these things that happen just based on a day-to-day. Did I focus enough? Did I sell enough tickets? Did I shave? Am I wearing my sponsor shirt? What the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And so one thing that has helped me out with that is I just have a practice, Lloyd, right? So I'm in the business of giving and receiving love. fuck all the bullshit and sexy mace moving and teaching you how to breathe and stretch. I'm trying to teach people how to express love and how to receive love at the end of the day. Yeah. So I start out by breaking my my social anxiety or that fear state or that survival state with hugging people. I simply walk up to everybody, Lloyd, and I physically touch them, and they look at me. And that look that they give me, Lloyd, and this is the look you'll get, you fucking know why you're there. And it's easy after that point. I consider that the bell ringing, right? Or getting in there. You know, you're doing your walk up to the fight, you get the nerves, they ring the bell, you go into flow state. For me, I hug everybody. And, you know, what I've come to experience is like people who are working out with the mace, they're not necessarily about barbells and like getting big, right? If you want to get big, you're going to go do barbells, you're going to go do dumbbells. There's a billion different ways of doing that. Most of the time that people work with the mace, it's because I got to get through my day, like yourself, like myself. And so fucking open up to them. You know, let them open up to you. They are there for spiritual healing or physical healing, just like you are. Maybe it's not that deep. Maybe it's not that deep yet. But if you swing a mace enough, when you become the sun, right? And this is the thing that orbits around you. When you get to play master of gravity for a brief moment and you get lost in space and you get lost in flow, magic does happen. So having a teacher who's open to receiving love and giving love, for me, has helped out. So I hope that helps you in your travels, man. And you know, one other thing that I deal with, or I say as a mantra, there have been some polarizing coaches who believe in me, like the Steel Mace Gypsy. She believes in me. And
she's on the mountain as well. I forgot about fucking hell.
She's on the mountain.
She's on the mountain.
Putting them on. It's a bigger mountain now.
I know it's gonna need some more space, man.
It's gonna look like a yearbook photo. But but you know, one thing that I just bite down on too is like John Wolfe and Shane Hain, Rick Brown. They believe in me. They honest to God believe that I will do well. So if you find yourself in that moment, just tell yourself, Leo Savage fucking believes in me, because I believe in you. And I don't have to believe in it because it's true. It's real. You know, that's you've completed the journey. Well, you've not completed the journey, but you've been on a journey that a lot of people want to go on. You started out in a dream world, right? Fly in the skies. How do I make this happen? You wrote down some goals. You opened a gym. You literally followed your dream. Following your dream is scary because you have to go opposite of the advice of everybody's giving you.
Scary as fucking shit.
Hang in there. You're gonna be a pilot. Everything's gonna change one day. Just keep fitting in.
The amount of fucking motivational quotes people would send me. Oh, keep going. And you just gotta learn. I'm all for motivation. Don't get me wrong, but telling people to just carry on. That was possibly the worst advice people gave me in that predicament. It fucked me over because I was like, no, I've spent like 40, 50 grand trying to get this pilot's license from people saying, keep going. And then it was like, no. And then just believe in yourself and your own idea of being like, no, that's enough. I've got to cut that off. It's taking the piss now. I'm going to go with this. And that's how I live.
It's awesome, man. I think that's great advice for anybody out there. Hey, I would love to thank you for being a guest on the show. You don't have a certification in mace. I'd love to send you my online program and see maybe that can help you out a little bit, or just be something fun to go through.
No, it's one of them. I've seen the online programs. Again, it's not me crying poverty, but all my money goes into the gym. And so I've always seen these online certifications where I'm like, I want to do that, but let me just put, this has got to go into rent. This has got to go into equipment.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, but this has got to go into fucking tax. This has got to go into insurance. But I'd love more than anything to have a certification on my belt for the mace. But like I said, I've got to keep this.
Well, hey, I actually would just love for you to be a steel mace flow coach. So I know I'm asking you for a favor, but I'm kind of
It's
trying to get
backhanded favour.
trying
I
to
see
get
what
you
you're
on.
doing.
You see? Get over here.
Get over you.
Yeah, yeah, I think with all the traveling mace people flying around your gym, collectively you could have a language you could speak. And you were talking about like, hey, I can't really show you my flow.
Yeah.
It's neat to be able to, I can look at your flow and break it down like piece by piece
Yeah.
out of like foundational work. So let me ask you another question. And I think we'll close with this. Here's something I've been pondering, and there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. One of the things I've come to discover with the steel mace, whenever I have a problem in fitness, I usually do the opposite of what a traditional strength training coach would teach me. For instance, I do beautiful shit with the mace. You do beautiful shit with the mace. Somebody sees you doing all this stuff. They travel to Valhalla Academy and they say, I want to do beautiful movement like you with the mace. I'm
Give
here
me an
right
hour.
now.
Yeah.
I've got an hour. You as a coach say, no. You need to go through the checks and balances. You need to do step one before you're flying. Or do you take them for a ride?
What I'll do, today I had a fella in, it was his first time with the mace. He was interested, he wanted to do it. But I'll always teach, and I've said this before on my Instagram, that like the amount of people who like see a mace and like, right, I want to swing it, let's go. But it's like, no, slow down. You need to learn the basics. You need to get the switch. You need to learn how long. How do you get away with teaching mace without bringing all innuendos into it? Because I'm always all about, look, you need to stroke the shaft, hand on the ball, and it's just there's so many sexual innuendos involved in teaching the mace. But it's like, how do you get away with that?
Well, this is a great thing about being Leo Savage is I can just kind of say those things and
just go with
kind
it.
of give me a graceful chuckle. So,
but I'll always before I start going into like, right, okay, let's go straight into a flow. I'll always teach them the switches. We'll go from a switch, we'll evolve the switch, and then after we've got the switches mastered, then you've learned exactly how your hands are meant to travel. Then I'll go into certain movements. Only when I think they've got a grasp of the movements will I say, okay, let's try and do a 360. 360 is always the last thing I'll teach them, because once you've learned that, everything else kind of falls into place, I find. You can do all your switches and your transitions, but the 360 is like I wouldn't say the most dangerous, but if you're doing it wrong, there's no point.
So, yeah, let's see. So, the 360 and all the courses I've taken, it's the last thing that is taught.
Yeah.
However, when you hand somebody a mace, it's like the first thing they
want to do. I want a 360.
So there's something there. And then when I talk about all the people who really fell in love with the mace, they fell in love doing 360s.
Yeah.
Harbeats from Amsterdam.
He's on the mountain.
I knew you were going to say that. We got room. He says all moves come from the 360. And, I tend to agree. And just talking to, kind of about this conversation and some of my coaches, I encourage my coaches. I say, listen, fucking teach you 360 on day one. They go, well, Leo, that's out of order. I go, I know. Remember, I said problem solving, do it backwards.
Yeah.
Because here's what I think about. You get that person, they see you doing the beautiful movement. I live in a world where somebody's not held back by their coach. I love that world. I love the world where you go in there and you say, I want this beautiful skill. You take it to the register. They go, this coach is the one who will teach you that, and he only needs it now. Matter of fact, I want people to fall in love with movement. Not the weight. It's just fucking weight. Who cares? It's just you can move weight. Who fucking cares? I want people to fall in love with the movement, right? The one thing that you're born into and the one thing that, or the last thing that's taken away from you.
Yeah.
And so I teach people the most beautiful things I can. And a lot of those conversations start out like this. How long have you been working with the mace? A long time. How long? 2 months. People tend to say a long time because the relationship has meant so much to them. You know, I've done a lot with this. I know it's been 2 months, but it has been a long time. And then I say, show me your moves. And then they show me the things, whatever it is. And then me as a coach, I just like to add some function to that flow. Hey, when you did this and this and this, we can make it look more beautiful.
Yeah.
We can make you look more badass if we tighten these things up. But I want them to go home like maybe when you were in kickboxing and you learned how to throw a spinning kick. Do you fucking remember that?
I did kickboxing. I did Muay Thai.
Oh, Muay Thai. Did you spin elbows?
Yeah. And it was always like,
first time you did a spinning kick, it was awesome. Okay. But I want people to go home and I want them to physically find something around the house.
Well, again, I said this today to this new guy, Jeremy was. And I said, you're going to find now that when you go to your next hardware store, as soon as you walk down that aisle where there's a sledgehammer, you're going to look at it and you're going to pick it up and you're just going to start swinging it in the aisle because you can. And then you're going to put it back. And there's going to be people watching you thinking, what the fuck's he doing? But you'll do it with everything. I'll do it when I'm brushing the floor. I'll do it when I'm mopping. I'll do it with anything that's got an elongated arm. I'll start swinging it thinking, oh, that's a good move. Maybe I'll try that. That's my life.
It's a good life, man, and we appreciate you for putting in all the time because you know the flow didn't come without some hard work, and not just only, and definitely some. You know, I can't let us go out like that. I'm not your coach officially, but it wasn't a sacrifice. Your whole community gained so much for you working hard. But you didn't take a loss with going into this new life. You know, if I ever go, was it worth it? Because I mean, you might have those moments. Am I doing the right thing? Is it worth it? Yeah. Just look at the community you've created, my friend, and let that be the judge of who you are.
No, I do. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. No matter the mace artist, I don't care how good anybody is with the mace. I care about what they do with it, right? The mace, it's a weapon, but for us, it's a symbol of hope. And you have a community full of people who you have changed their lives, not only their lives, but anybody who's attached to them. Fuck, you changed the life of the person at the hardware store. Why is everybody swinging our hammers? We need tie locks on things. Is there anything you'd like to put out there before we sign off?
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, just nothing that we've already spoke about, really. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I know it's a shit sign off.
Any gratitude you'd like to send out there to any of your friends who put up with you or students?
All of them. I mean, like I said before, the Valhalla Training Academy, it wasn't meant to be. I never did it so it'd be just about me. I wanted it to be about the family there is, and all of them, they've had my back throughout. I mean, from every member in there, all of them are responsible for being how it is. I know it's easy to look at me for being the one who's like the one in the focus point, but it's not. I'd never go around saying, look, Valhalla Training Academy is all about me. I did it. I did it with the help of everyone in that gym, in that community. And I thank them all to the end of the time, really. They've had my back and they've got it where it is.
It's beautiful.
And
man. Well, hey, thank you, man. You know, thank you so much. Great to be honored by you.
Inception seed. You're like, right, Inception, spin the thimble in my head. I was like, right, let's go.
Good, man. Turns out this journey has been worth it. Thank you so much for being part of this and sharing so openly and honestly with me and my friends. we will
Welcome.
see.
Thank you for having me.
On,
I enjoyed this. Thank you very much, Leo.
Yeah, man, it was good. Take care, everybody. See you soon. All right. Hey, cool. I think we still. I got to end this. I got to end the.